According to the IRS new announcement, some Americans will be receiving payments this month, but only if they meet the requirements. Today, Biden glossed over the weak November jobs report, instead focusing on the low unemployment rate and the year-long trend of growth and economic recovery. The U.S. economy, everybody, created far fewer jobs than expected in November. In his speech at the White House, Biden skipped over the job creation data almost entirely. Biden told reporters, "Today we got the incredible news that our unemployment rate has fallen to 4.4%. Now, the apparent disparity between unemployment rate decline and relatively weak job growth could be due to a variety of factors. Still, the American Rescue Plan signed into law by Biden back in March delivered money to Americans in many ways. Earlier this year, most people got $1,400 direct payments, and families with children are still receiving money in the form of the child tax credit.
100 years, up to 100 years. This is also about the health of the global economy, kitchen table, broader domestic, national economy, the global economy. The Council of Economic Advisors has stated, a default would send shockwaves through global financial markets and would likely cause credit markets worldwide to freeze up and stock markets to plunge. Employers around the world would likely have to begin laying off workers. It goes on to say the 2008 financial crisis had ripple effects throughout the global economy that ricocheted back to the U.S. shores, causing firms to lay off workers, here we are again, and cut private investment. A financial crisis driven by a default has the potential to be even worse, in addition to hitting a global economy not fully recovered from the pandemic. Addressing the debt limit honors our duty to the Constitution. The 14th Amendment, Section 4 states, the validity of the public debt of the United States authorized by law shall not be questioned. So my question, Mr. Speaker, to you is, and to our colleagues, what is it that they have against families when they want to increase unemployment, decrease household wealth, and have families be charged more for car loans, credit card loans, mortgage payments, and other borrowing? Don't you care about that? What do you have against our own economy, where this catastrophe of unbelievable proportions could have impacts for over 100 years? Don't you care about that? Also, the health of the global economy, which I described so clearly, causing credit markets worldwide to freeze up and stock markets to plunge, and employers around the world have to begin laying off workers. Again, coming back to our shores. Certainly, you have respect for the Constitution of the United States, to which we take an oath to protect and defend, which states the validity of the public debt of the United States authorized laws shall not be questioned. Let us be clear about what this means. Addressing the debt limit is not about future spending, as some have tried to represent. This is about meeting obligations that the government has already incurred, including from the bipartisan COVID relief legislation passed last year. Only 3% of the current debt that we're addressing here has been incurred during the Biden years. Under President Biden, 3% of what we're talking about here. We're talking about the Trump debt incurred, and some of it in a bipartisan way, to address the COVID crisis. Not all, though. We were not complicit in the Republican tax scam to give 83% of benefits to the top 1% in our country, adding about $2 trillion.
But some families will be receiving payments this month, and they might not have expected the money. The payments are called Plus-Up payments by the IRS, and some people were sent stimulus checks based on the 2019 tax return. People's circumstances may have changed, however. Income may be lower because of a job change or losing a job. Some families may have a child, and that change will be noticed by the IRS when they file their 2020 taxes. The Plus-Up payments are intended to make up the difference between what they received based on a 2019 tax filing and what they are owed based on a 2020 tax filing. Thank you again for your support, everybody. If you have any more questions about the fourth stimulus check, be sure to leave them in the comments below. And Sinema has now publicly revealed how high she is willing to go. Pelosi conceded that the bill would not stay at the $3.5 trillion price tag, calling the bill transformative. She said we had some important decisions to make in the next few days so that we can proceed. And I'm very disappointed that we're not going to go with the original $3.5 trillion, which was very transformative. Do you believe that Nancy Pelosi can get the job done, everybody, and send out the fourth stimulus check? Tell me in the comments below, everybody. Now, in 2021 and 2022, the average family will receive around $5,000 in stimulus money thanks to the expanded child tax credit. The money was authorized by the American Rescue Plan Act, which provided stimulus checks and expanded the tax credits. Parents used to be eligible for $2,000 for a child tax credit, only $1,400, which was refundable, and they couldn't get the money until they filed the taxes. Now, under the American Rescue Plan Act, the credit was raised to $3,600 for kids under the age of 6 and $3,000 for older children. The credit was also made fully refundable, and half of it is being delivered to people's bank accounts in payments of $250 or $300 per month from July to December of this year. President Biden and many lawmakers on the left believe that the expanded child tax credit shouldn't be a one-time credit for 2021. As part of the proposed bill called the Build Back Better Act, the credit would be expanded until either 2024 or 2025. That would mean parents would receive extra money for several more years. And given the nature of government entitlement programs, it is likely that politicians would extend it further, rather than letting it benefit people who have come to depend on expire. So many Democrats and Republicans have now voted to suspend the U.S. debt limit in a new vote. So folks, a government shutdown could also lead to no more Social Security benefits. So in today's video, I will be bringing you up to date on the latest stimulus check information, as well as all the news surrounding your Social Security benefits. So you want to be sure to stay until the end of this video, folks.
You would think I'm going to talk to you about my conversations with Joe Manchin in here, if you promise not to tell anyone.
So you've had a conversation with him?
Look, I think that Joe Manchin is a great member of Congress, of the Senate. We're friends. We're Italian Americans. We get along. Catholic. We have shared values. I have enormous respect for him. I had one of the joys of my service in Congress was to work with him to make sure we had the health benefits and pension benefits for our mine workers. Not that I think clean coal is anything but, well, nonetheless about that. But I do believe in the workers, their needs, and the rest, and we did that at the end of last year, working together. So we have our common ground. Well, we're talking about substance. We're not talking about rhetoric, and we're not even talking about dollars. We're talking about what is important in the legislation. Where can we find our common ground?
Good news, folks.